My name is Joel Allen Bumgarner. I was born in 1987, and if you are looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, here's my phone number. So when I was in high school, I was very much concerned with how cool I was or came off. I very much wanted to be accepted. I think that's the biggest thing, is you want to be accepted, and so you live your life in a way to get accepted, to be cooler. It kind of translated me into being one of those kids in high school who party a lot. Unbeknownst to my family or my parents, they had no idea. I was way too good at hiding all that. Post high school, I was just trying to find my direction in life, and I still kind of maintained that partying lifestyle, drinking a lot, doing other recreational, illegal things. All through my life, from like high school through after high school, I had kind of an underlying sadness and like depression that I was constantly, I think, trying to cover up and cope with. And when I was 19 years old, a couple of my best buddies, they were like, they decided on a whim that they were going to move to Maui. They were like, "You want to come along?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" But when they come in, we go through every single thing, and you make sure they're all in there, and the right amount. Count all the towels, washcloths, shower curtain, hand soap, wastebasket. Yeah, these ladies brought a bunch of spices. Seriously, look at all those.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Woo! In my mind, I thought that moving, to this tropical paradise was gonna make me happy. And it was interesting because when I got out to Maui, I had a fake ID at 19 years old. I was able to go out every night and do what some people would see as being like the dream, like just partying in Maui. And though there'd be times of fun, it didn't make me happy. I learned that it doesn't matter where you go, like a place isn't gonna make you happy. As J. Beebe said, the grass is greener where you water it. And so I actually moved back to the mainland, back to Oregon. I was just working and getting ready to go back to school. I was gonna start, college. And there just came an event where, I felt very much betrayed by some of my best friends at the time. And I was already, sad, had that underlying depression, and that kind of put me over the edge. Like, I was super depressed. My life just felt hopeless, and I just didn't see what the point of life was. And I was broken. I remember just having a conversation with my mom, and I just remember being super emotional, and she was just giving me a hug, and I was just, just kind of a wreck. Like, what's the point of life? I didn't get it. And so I came to this point in my life where God showed me that he was real, and so I committed myself to him, and that's when really everything in my life changed. I went literally overnight from having no hope to just having hope. I heard about this Bible college in Maui from one of my friends, and I decided I can go back to Maui and learn about the Bible and stuff. That sounds really cool. What I got out there was just some good mentorship. Charles Casco, Dominique Doan, Jacob Macias, and David Corson. Those guys really showed me what it meant to be a man. I had this new resolve and mindset on life. I remember sitting down and trying to write this paper, and I felt paralyzed, like I can't do this, I can't do this paper. It was kind of like the old mindset of the way I carried myself in my life of I'm not capable of doing this. The next day it was due and I didn't do it. And I got there and I remember Charles, I told him hey, I don't have that paper, can I turn in next week? And he was like, yeah, bro, it's cool, turn in next week. But I remember that day was pretty pivotal for me because I was never again, I'm never letting this happen again. And it was a really a big growing opportunity for me, because I just realized that I can. I just kind of realized that I can do whatever I want to do. I just have to push myself and do it. No matter how you feel, you just push yourself and you do it. How will anyone know there's an open house if there's no directionals out there to show them? It was actually really interesting because I lived in Maui twice, and once as a kid who was just partying, just trying to do all those things that people do when they're partying. And I went and lived this straight edge, no alcohol, no drugs life when I was in Maui. And the funny thing is, I had so much more fun the second time around. I got scuba certified, we did hikes, camping, and went to the beach all the time. It was like literally living the dream. So after I finished up my time in Maui, I headed back to Oregon, and I was determined to get my education. I believed it was very important that I did that, and I had this newfound confidence in my ability to do it, to make it. I had belief, whereas before I didn't believe in myself. And so I was going to school, I was working 4 days a week as a waiter, and then I was a leader in a college ministry. So I was booked every single day of the week. I've always been somebody who likes to work out, likes to exercise. And at this time I would take this pre-workout energy drink called No Explode. You know, just get you hyped up for the workout. And like over time I'd go from 1 scoop to 2 scoop to 3 scoops. Well, I remember one day I did the 3 scoops, and I felt so wired, and I felt off. I didn't feel like I had energy, I just felt really weird. And I remember going to the workout and I just couldn't do it. And I went home and then went to work soon after that. And then I had a full-fledged panic attack. I literally thought I was dying. My heart was beating fast, I couldn't breathe, I was sweating, I thought I was having a heart attack. It was quite traumatic. I had one of my coworkers drove me to the hospital. Basically, they gave me, some Xanax, and they said, chill out, go see your doctor. And I went and saw my primary care doctor, and he said, I'm just gonna give you some Xanax, just in case, to have your blankie. It's like, I didn't understand what he meant by blankie. But then I realized it later on, because I leaned on it. I was so scared I was gonna have another panic attack that it became full-fledged anxiety, and I had to have those pills to feel safe. I had to have those pills just in case I had a panic attack. I needed to have them. My mind couldn't stop thinking about it because I was so worried about it, and my body just felt ill. And so after a year of that, I'm not dealing with it, I was honestly a wreck. I was a nervous wreck. I thought that I was gonna have anxiety forever. I thought that it would never go away. And so I started having this hopelessness again, and this depression that resulted from my anxiety, because I thought, I'm always gonna be like this, I'm always gonna have anxiety. And I remember, one day just kind of breaking down, like I can't do this anymore. And so I was connected with a psychologist at my church, and it was the best thing I could have ever done. I mean, I know that in our society there's a stigma against people like going to see a therapist or a psychologist, but I think it's great. I think that we should take that stigma away, because when you need help and you need to learn good coping skills for what you're going through, that's what they can do for you. They can give you the skill set to deal with whatever your depression is, or your anxiety, or whatever thing you may be dealing with. And so over time, just by seeing him and talking to him and going through my anxious episodes, they got less and less. And eventually I was like, wow, I've overcome it. I don't need to see you anymore. I didn't do it with medication. I did it with just good counseling. And not that there's not a place for medication, but for me it wasn't necessary. I just needed the skill set and the coping skills to deal with my anxiety.
We should use just made.
I'd say that's an awesome blanket. What kid would turn that down? He brought speakers, he brought donuts. This guy's on fire. So it's really cool to have my missional community, because really what we're saying is, we all love Jesus, but we intentionally want to get together each week, and we intentionally get together just to spend time together and grow as friends, and we're in it for lifetime. We want to be friends for life. And it's cool because we just set a time aside each week to get together and to live life together and to grow in our friendships, and to be able to serve for the refugees or in whatever cause we're serving. It's really cool because it's a common cause that we're fighting for together and that we're supporting together. I graduated college in 2014 from Oregon State. I was a speech communication major, psychology minor, but I really liked the psychology, and I thought, I don't really know what I want to do with my life, so maybe I want to be a psychologist. So I started working at a mental health facility for 12 to 17-year-olds. It was a very wild experience. A lot of kids that were struggling with a variety of issues. It could be bipolarism, it could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be schizophrenia. It was a wide spectrum of issues that kids were dealing with. It was a really tough place to work, but I also loved it because it was a place of highs and lows. If the kid was struggling, I was able to be there for them and speak into their life and I always just wanted to give them hope, even when they felt hopeless. And so it was a really cool job to have in that way. And it gave me a big heart for the kids have to deal with those sort of issues at such a young age. And oftentimes it's a direct result of their socioeconomic situation. You know, maybe their parents weren't the best parents. Maybe they've just been thrown into foster care to foster care to foster care. My heart goes out to those kids because it's a tough life. And ultimately, so I thought I wanted to be a psychologist. I worked there for a year to get the experience to get into the Doctor of Psychology program at George Fox. I applied for the program, and then they wanted me to interview for it, and so I went and interviewed, and out of 65 people, they chose 25, and I was one of those 25 that they chose for the program. Right away I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And I was excited about it, but ultimately I started seeing how much debt it was going to put me in. I made the decision not to move forward with that, just because I just didn't, in my gut, I didn't feel comfortable going that much in debt. But I'm very thankful for each of those experiences because I feel like they've molded me to where I am now. Real estate's been a really cool thing for me because it's up to me. My success is totally up to me and how much I want to put into it. No one else is going to go out there and do the work for me. If I really want to, be successful, I just have to go out there and do the things that other people who are successful did to get to where they are. And it's cool because it's a new mindset. It's the ability to do big things. Lionel Wilson, he was talking to me about it, and he said, real estate may not be your dream job in and of itself initially, but it can be a vehicle to achieving your dreams. And that was really cool to me because I have things that I'm passionate about, such as, kids in the foster system and, kids with mental health and people who are just kind of forgotten by the system in so many ways, especially in Oregon. And I would love to, in the long term, support those causes. And I would love to use real estate as a vehicle to help those kids that can't find a foster home because there's just not enough foster homes. Like, that's something I'm passionate about, and I would love to make my impact on that in the long term. My name is Joel Allen Bumgarner. Some people call me Joliosis, Jolie, Joel Bum, and a little Joel. Yeah. Okay, I don't like that one.